Well, Capri Cafaro is a former Democratic state senator. Lauren Zelt, senior vice president, FP1 Strategies, advised the 2012 Romney campaign. They both join us live. Capri, you were actually from Ohio. That's where you're
right.
state senator. Did you see any Russians there?
Well, you know, not on a daily basis, although we do have a significant Eastern European population in northeastern Ohio.
Doesn't the president have a point, though, that Russia, in part, is an excuse for an embarrassing Clinton loss? It makes people in your party feel a lot better. Repeat after me. Russia, Russia, Russia. That's all they want to say.
I mean, I think that's definitely true for some Democrats. I mean, I, for one, because, again, I do come from northeastern Ohio, from a Rust Belt community very similar to Huntington, West Virginia. And I can tell you right now, the reason why Donald Trump won was because he had an economic message that he took from the Democratic Party, and Hillary Clinton didn't show up, and she did not work hard, and she basically abandoned the communities that, you know, really put Donald Trump over the top. I often say it was not Republicans that elected Donald Trump. It was Democrats, blue-collar Democrats. On
that point, Lauren, the president claimed today that these Russia probes are, in his words, a total fabrication. That doesn't reflect reality either, though, on a day when we learn Robert Mueller has impaneled this grand jury. Surely your party can't claim that this is a total fabrication.
Well, you know what I think is important to discuss, though, is that tonight was a good night for the president. You had the Democratic governor of West Virginia announce today that he is switching parties to the Republican Party, making him the 34th Republican governor.
Okay, and that's not going to repeal and replace Obamacare. That's not going to create a single job.
It's not, but what it does show you is how the people in real America are thinking. You know, folks in the Beltway want to talk about Russia. They want to talk about all these other things. But folks in real America, and I am also from a part of the country that went strongly for Trump, the outskirts of Pittsburgh. And these folks are focused on the things that the president is doing, like rolling back the EPA regulations that are bringing jobs back.
Let's just say all that. However, you didn't answer my question about the fact that the president claimed Russia's a total fabrication. The special counsel has a grand jury. There's something here. I'm not saying they're necessarily crimes. He has to make his case. But, Lauren, it's not a total fabrication, is it?
Well, I think we'll see what happens. I think it's you know, we have to take this step by step. I don't think we need to get ahead of ourselves, but we do need to focus on, look, the people that voted for Trump tonight, they got to spend some time with him and reflect on the fact that he's delivering on the agenda that they promised him.
To an extent, if I may say so.
Sure.
I mean, we really haven't seen any action on NAFTA, although I do understand that's apparently coming up sometime in mid-August. There are about 14 coal-fired plants that are going to be closed in 2017 and eliminating basically about 30 million tons of coal demand in the United States by 2018.
That's resonating for this president. There's no doubt about it.
But there are some issues there. I mean, so he is making steps, but for the people that did vote for him because of that economic message, up to this point it's been a mixed bag. And Democrats would be better served talking about that.
Democrats are better served by that.
Russia.
And people in West Virginia actually care about these issues. And yet, look at what some people in the mainstream media, pundits, some of your Democratic friends and others are saying. Stuart Rothenberg, I've known him a long time, I've respected his work, tweeted tonight, lots of people in West Virginia can't support themselves or speak English. Okay, and Selena Zito, who is one of the folks who is a great writer and spotted the Trump voter early on, said respectfully, as someone who comes from the region that is incredibly bigoted of you to say, people from West Virginia are incredible,
This is like a basket of deplorables situation.
Stu Rothenberg answered that his wife's dad, I believe, was a coal miner. Of course, they are hardworking. He said they mean well, just closed-minded, provincial, angry, and easily misled. My wife's dad, Stu Rothenberg said, was a coal miner in PA. Doesn't this reflect, Capri, a feeling in the mainstream media and among some of your Democratic friends of just not only Trump derangement syndrome, but contempt for fellow Americans?
It is frustrating. I think that it is a comment like that, and obviously Stuart Rothenberg is inside the Beltway. I mean, the man is, you know, spent all of his time inside the Beltway.
He's done great work, but that sounds like somebody attacking.
Exactly, but this is, I think, a very good example of how the quote-unquote coastal elites are disconnected from the rest of the country, where in Ohio, for example, we only have a 37% attainment rate of higher education.
I'm going to get to Lauren now. She mentioned the governor switching parties, but there's a senator there, Joe Manchin. Look at this ad he ran, I believe, back in 2010, and I want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'll repeal the bad parts of Obamacare. I sued EPA, and I'll take dead aim at the cap and trade bill. Because it's bad for West Virginia.
I wanted to play that because he's a conservative Democrat who a lot of Trump allies thought would be easy pickings to help repeal. And he said, and he's going to have to answer to voters for that he wanted to repeal and replace at least part of Obamacare.
That's right.
My point is, you said earlier, look, the governor switched from Democrat to Republican. Doesn't this president have to worry more about why someone like Joe Manchin is not working with him on whether it's jobs, whether it's repealing or replacing Obamacare? What happened to the outreach to the conservative Democrats?
I honestly think the person that has to worry this evening is Joe Manchin. This was a bad night for Joe Manchin.
Because the governor switched?
Yes.
And he's going to run from cover.
Yeah, and you look at Trump's support in West Virginia. You look at the fact that he's
won
incredibly...
by 40 points.
Right. So this was a bad night for Joe Manchin. The momentum is not going in the direction at this time for the presidents in for the Democrats in West Virginia. And just back to your point, I feel like you were, kind of taking my talking points tonight because no, it's okay. But you're right. The Democrats have become a coastal elite party, and they aren't in touch with the working American people. So until they can change that, I don't see them doing well.
Really reflect that.
Sorry.
Lauren Capri, appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.